Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chatting with Chantel. It's your girl, Chantel, and we are here the last day of 2022, and we are just thanking God for allowing us to see another year, to be able to sit and reflect back on everything that we've gone through. We thank God it's the last day of the year. For all of those that are listening, yes, I am going live. Yes, I am making sure to chime in and just let you know that 2023, we're walking in with great expectations. We're walking in. We're going to continue, to be purposeful, intentionally driven, and that we are just in a place of whatever you have for me next, God, that's what I'm ready to do. Whatever you have for my career, my life, my home, my family, my finances, every goal, every project that I have, whatever you have for me, we're just walking in great expectation. Welcome, everybody. To those of you that are listening for the very first time on the last day of the year, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know where you're listening from. We are on Facebook, Instagram. Excerpts are posted on TikTok. We have our own YouTube channel that is Chatting with Chantel, where you can go back and listen to all the podcasts since day one. But definitely every podcast is uploaded there. We are on all online podcast platforms. So be sure to, wherever you're listening from, just let me know. For those of you that would like to contact me personally, you can email me at bookaprilskinner@gmail.com. Or you can reach me through the inboxes of Facebook or Instagram, and I'll definitely be sure to respond back. To those of you that have followed, that have shared, that have commented, that continue to give me your feedback and let me know how it has worked in your day, in your life, I want to take this time out to tell you thank you. Thank you for not being too big to listen, not being too big to share, not being too big to allow the words that God has given me to impart your life. Thank you for allowing me to use the gift that God has given me, words of encouragement, just moments of thought, empowerment. Thank you for allowing me to grace your day, your moment, the hour, whenever you're listening to it. Definitely want to thank those that have impacted my life majorly. The reason why I'm here, my parents, Pastor and First Lady Benny Bradley, who will forever be my leaders, spiritual leaders, as well as my parents. Thank you for being who you are. To my Georgia family and my Georgia church families that I fellowship with, Unified Church of South Carolina under the direction of Apostle Smith and Stephanie Smith. Thank you for being who you are, your kind words, the push, the challenge, the opportunity. Thank you to Spirit of Life Worship Center, who I've been with for 6 years. Thank you for allowing me to use all the tools that God has given me through hearing the word, through much prayer and much thought. Thank you for being who you are. To those that are near and dear to me, and I dare not begin to individually name those names. Definitely want to shout out, Spirit of Life Worship Center under the direction of Apostle White and First Lady White. Definitely want to thank you guys. Also want to thank my family, my spouse. Want to thank my children who are constantly sharing and liking and just chiming back and being like, Mom, I need to hear that. You know, there's no better feeling than you being able to encourage your children from a different perspective, and they're passing it on to their friends, and their friends are passing it on to their friends. And so I definitely, I thank God for that opportunity. I thank God for each and every one of you, because without you, our days would not be possible. Every trial, every tribulation, I am standing in just total appreciation. I have no complaints. And that's the title of this podcast on today is I won't complain about anything. I'm not complaining about anything. I'm thanking God because he saved me from a lot. God opened my eyes to a lot. He even rerouted some things and some ways that I was moving to help me, to hinder me from being hurt, to opening my eyes to seeing what was good for me, those that are not good for me, that are using, that have that using spirit, or that has that, that does not have my best interest in mind at all. God, opened my eyes up to that. And some of it did hurt. Some of it did, take me a while to grab hold to. Some of it did allow me to just sit and think and want to know why. But God knew what was best for me. And I just thank God. I thank God where we're going. I thank God for every connection. I thank God for this 2023 that is going to be phenomenal as God began to work even in this year. For 2023, I'm excited. God allowed me to prioritize some things. God allowed me to just be able to do some more things in 2023. And I'm excited, not mad. The enemy can have no credit. He gets no joy because 2022 was definitely a time for me to go back and equip myself for 2023. And that's exactly all that I can say about 2022. It was an equipping year. It made me go back and begin to pray even the more. I had to study. I began to, God allowed me to begin to speak. And so even with that, there comes studying, there comes making sure that everything that you're talking about and that you're speaking on, that your life begin to reflect that. And because I don't want to misguide or misdirect someone, I want everything that, I say for someone to see it working in my life. No, we're not perfect. No, every day is not a good day. But what I will say is that God remains the same day in and day out. He's always there. He hears us. He guides us and he leads us. And what better way to walk into 2023 than knowing that he's there, knowing that he's ready, knowing that this race is not given to the swift. It's not given to the strong, but the ones that endure to the end. And we are at the end. And now we are walking into 2023 with our heads held high, with a great mental space. We're emotionally set and ready for whatever 2023 has for us. Hello, 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 everybody. I'm just so excited. And I wanted to make sure that I came on today as this being the last episode of 2022 and just kind of just talk and reflect on 2022. Nobody expected any of what transpired in 2022. I know I didn't. Of course, yes, we're still in a pandemic. Things began to happen in 2022 that, caused some of our finances to fluctuate, caused some of us to have to, do some other things or put some things on the back burner, go back and regroup. It has opened doors for us to try out different things and be successful. It has allowed us to bond with other people. Shout out to my sorority, Eta Sigma Theta. I have met the most phenomenal women over the year of 2022. Women that, love God and have a passion for mental health awareness, which, of course, is my nonprofit. And I'm constantly bringing awareness to mental health and making sure that you have a healthy mental and that you're finding things that continue to make your mental healthy. I met the most wonderful, wonderful group of women, and I could thank nobody but God. Nobody but God that allowed me to come across the advertisement, to even look into it, or to even, allow me to see what was going on and to go through the entire process, to go through everything that I did and come out on the winning end, to come out with sisters all across the world that we're communicating all the time. And it's just wonderful. And I cherish it. I thank God for allowing me to go down that avenue that I don't think I may have even done. But he allowed a passion of mine and a passion of theirs to connect us. And from there, friendships have been developed and are bonding. And I thank God. I thank God for every thing that I've gone through this year that has caused me to remain positive. It's caused me to remain silent. I can definitely think that by the end of 2021, going into 2022, everybody had this mindset of, I'm a voice to be reckoned with. And so a lot of people are speaking and not understanding that sometimes the silence is not a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of strength. And I thank God that he has given me that strength. I don't know what God has given you. Can you sit and think about some of the things that God has given you? God has begun to tremendously work in my family, in my children, even when the enemy tried to, come in and just show his face, even in my family. God raised up a standard. He lifted up a standard and allowed the enemy to be defeated. He allowed me to see that daily I have to pray. Daily I have to commune and I have to talk to him. And that my worship is for real, it's personal. It's my safe place. It's my favorite place. And regardless of what anybody thinks, which is definitely something that God had to just sit me down and let me know, that regardless of what anybody thinks, whether anybody thinks that it's for clout or popularity, you worship like you want to worship. You track those pivotal moments where others are able to see me working in your life. Don't depend on others to want to do and see the same things that you do, but you continue to allow that to be your place. Everybody has a different thing. Some people love speaking and praying. Some people love dancing, and then there's the music ministry. My safe place, my favorite place, the place where I hear God so clearly is in my worship. And it doesn't matter if it's praise or if it's worship, but in those moments where I am able to give back to God what he gave to me, which is the gift of song, that's where he deals very strongly with me with, and I'm excited. And I will continue to just share those moments, those times, and just allow you to see how God begins to work in those moments. If you are readily available, if you have that relationship, if you open yourself up to let him do what he does best, and that's just come in, rest, rule, and abide in your life. I thank God that 2022 is done. And, excuse me. And that, though there have been some sad stories, lives have been lost, I have no complaints, because there was time spent. There are great memories, no sad stories. Yes, it hurt in the moment, or, yes, it made you sit down and just thank God for the family that you have. I have no sad stories. I am in a place where my mental has to be that of positive. And of course, by the end of 2022, God let me know that it's okay to remove myself from some things that put me in a shaky mental space. It's okay that if that's not an area that keeps your mind stayed on me, to remove yourself. And not feel bad about it and not worry about what others are going to say. That's definitely how I'm going into 2023. Like, whatever I decide to do in 23, it's because God has already given it to me. It's because God has given me a choice. It's because God has given me a voice. It's because God has given me a word, or he has given me a vision of what he needs for me to do. And so 23 is the year where, God, you've already equipped me. So now I have no excuse but to do exactly what you said you will do. In 22, I had another child to enter college. So I now have 2 children in college. That's nothing but God. 2 sons that are not in trouble. 2 sons where God has definitely shown up in their lives, that are in college doing well. Still have my baby daughter that is home. She is excelling in school. I just thank God because there are no sad stories. Like, yes, we have those moments in our family where we have to go back to the drawing board and we have to say sorry and we have to, cry it out or hug it out or forgive. But guess what? There's no sad story. One of the things that I did have to just state before my face and talk to God about definitely was parenting. There and understand there's no guide to parenting, that we don't get it right all the time. But guess what? For the mere fact that I did not give up, I did not quit, that I kept going, and that I made it to a place where, hey, now I'm able to hold them accountable for the things that they've been taught, the lessons that they've been given, I think is a blessing. And now we have those conversations, definitely with my sons. We have those conversations of, you know what, we didn't understand it then, but we thank you now. I'm just excited about 2023, y'all. I can't think of anything that I'm not going to say I would change, because I think everything that I went through in 22 was for my good. So that's why I'm not complaining. I won't complain about anything that I went through, because maybe it caused me to open my eyes. Maybe it caused me to change my prayer life. Maybe it caused me to be more intentional about what God had asked me to do, what God had asked me to take on. Maybe it caused me to look at myself and understand that if I want people to see the God in me, I have to make sure everything that I do, everything that I say, everything that I am pushing for, or what I am imparting lines up with my life, that there's no gray area. There's no area that would cause, room for question, because I don't want to lose anybody. And I think I definitely, back in the role of being a supervisor, back in the role of being a mentor, or just an example to so many other young ladies in my career field, or just in my life, I continue to try and be positive and letting them see, like, of course it's hard work. Of course it challenges you at times, but guess what? When your response becomes that of, I am unbothered and I refuse to allow you to take me to a place that I work to get myself out of, there's such a joy, there's such a victory. 2022, I gained 2 beautiful godchildren, and that I love. I thank God for allowing just that relationship to develop in my life, and not even knowing when or where it was going to happen. God knew exactly what some people need in their lives, what some people have to take on. I thank God for my circle of friends that I can call on, that I depend on, that I look to, that we're holding one another accountable. I thank God for them. I thank God for being so prevalent just in my life. And I'm not saying that every day is a rainbow, but even in the hardest of hard days, over the year. I was able to sit, process, and get through it and not quit. Yes, some tears were shed. Yes, I was upset. Yes, I removed myself from some things because at the end of the day, nobody's going to love me like I love me except for God. So I did have to do some things that, hey, guess what? I am allowed to feel the way that I feel. I am allowed to care for me. I am allowed to put limits on how you treat me. I'm allowed to do that because nobody's going to mistreat. If I don't mistreat me, I'm not going to let anybody else mistreat me. And so that was, definitely something I thank God for. I'm just looking forward to 2023. Like, so much God has already allowed me to, just think about, write about in 2023, all the upcoming projects and just the new doors that have been opened. I'm elated for 2023. And I hope that your life, that you begin to, that you have already, and if you haven't, take time today, sit down and begin to write. What are some things that you desire to work on in 2023? And it doesn't have to all be spiritual. It can be working on your mental. It can be working on your physical. I need to go back to the gym. I need to begin to, I'm getting another year younger. And, it's causing me to be more health conscious. It's causing me to, just take care of me a little bit more because I'm not as youthful as I used to be. But guess what? All of that has become aware to write it down. Some things that you wish to accomplish. If you want to go back to school, if you want to travel, if you want to begin to socialize or just build on your circle of friends or try something new, if you want to gain a new hobby, a new project, if you want to buy a house, work on your credit, begin to write those things down. And then as you get to them or you begin to prioritize them in your life, write down some things that you feel like you need to do to accomplish those things. And like, there is a scripture in the Bible, write the vision and make it plain. I believe it's in Habakkuk. It's in Haggai. Write the vision and make it plain, or something about without a vision the people perish, something like that. I don't have my Bible in front of me, so I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's about the vision. And one thing about it is, how do you know what how do you know what you have unless you write it? That's what I tell myself. Or how do you know what you need unless you write it? You write those things down and then you begin to cross them off, or you begin to sit them in an order that, okay, maybe I don't want to start with this, but I want to start with something at the bottom. However you choose to begin to work on those things in this upcoming year, write it down. Get you a journal and begin to write every day. Even if you have a hard day or an easy day, or even if God gives you a word just riding in the car, go home and begin to write it down. So then when you look back, when we get to this part in 23, last day of the year, you can look back and be like, look at the growth. Look at what God gave me in this moment, or it was in this moment that I was feeling like this. And that's definitely what journaling has done for me. I begin to journal every Sunday. And the reason I journaled every Sunday is because I fellowship with two ministries on Sundays. And both of them are impactful in my life. They're pivotal in my life. It's something that I don't ever foresee myself changing. It is a lot. But because of the word that's being given from both, I began journaling and combining it. And it is just amazing how two different ministries, two different words begin to line up. And it's, I wouldn't say like every Sunday, like the messages match, but at some point it all ties together. And the only reason that God gave me that was, just trying to organize me and be like, what are you thinking in this moment at 8:00 in the morning when you are in worship, and the word is going forth? What are you thinking, and what's going through your mind? And then you go into another worship at 11:00, and then the word is going forth. What are you thinking? And then at the end of the day, I would compile the two and just begin to write what God has given me concerning the two. And that jump started my study life. And I'm not going to say jump started it, but it began to enhance my study life. And I was able to just grow so much spiritually by doing that. So whatever you have, whatever you want to do, begin to write it down. Write your vision and make it plain. Write your goals and make it plain. Doesn't mean that you have to finish them by the end of the year. You can start it on the 31st day of 23, and guess what? It will still have been a purposeful move or intentional, because you wrote it in 22 to start in 23. And as long as you're starting, as long as you don't quit, as long as you stay the course, as long as you remain positive, as long as you keep your head above the water and don't fall, don't turn around, don't get lost, don't quit. Don't allow negative thoughts to consume you. You will be fine. We're walking into 23, and combining the two ministries again. We are rebuilding, and we are in mass recovery. We are going back, and all those things that we had to sit to the side, or we weren't ready to approach, or we weren't ready to do. Guess what? We're taking those things head on, and we're going back in, and we're revisiting them. And we are coming in with the voice to be reckoned with. We're letting the enemy know that I was not defeated, that I just had to sit it to the side, get some more teaching, or get some more ideas, or go back to the drawing board, or revamp, or restart. And guess what? It's back. It's not lost. It's not gone. Those things that you desire, those businesses, those dreams that you have, it's not lost. It's not gone in vain. You just had to go back and equip yourself to be able to take it on. Everything that you're going to endeavor or encounter, you had to go back and prepare yourself, because some stuff may take you for a ride. It may throw you off your rocker sometimes. But guess what? Even in those moments, you want to be able to get up, dust yourself back off, and keep on going. We're not going to stop. We're not going to quit. We're not going to be moved. We're not going to let somebody talk us out of what our desires and our plans are. Guess what? We're going to be grateful, and we're going to keep going. We're rebuilding. We're recovering. We are moving forward in what God has given us. God did not give us this for us not to use it, for us not to grow it, for us not to be able to share it with those that need it. This world is in a moment where it needs sharing, goodness sharing. No more sad stories. No more talking about each other. No more bashing each other. No more thinking that somebody is better than the other person. But constantly, can we just get to a place where we share goodness? That guess what? Even though today was hard, even though you woke up late, even though the children missed the bus, guess what? At least they made it to school. At least after that, after rushing, after getting a flat tire, or even if somebody rears you, guess what? At least I have life, and I'm able to tell the story of how God kept me, and how he's still good, and he's still watching over me, and he's still standing up for me. That is what I am. That's the mindset that I'm taking into 23. That it doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter what I go through. Guess what? I won't stop. I won't be stopped. I won't be silent. I won't be discouraged. I'm out. I'm over those that do things to spitefully hurt me. I see you. God has opened my eyes to you. And guess what? It's funny now, because guess what? You're using your energy to move different around me, because you see that God is doing something in me. So it's funny. I have to laugh that you have to go to that extent. But guess what? God gets all the glory in my life. I take no glory. I'm not stuck on myself. I'm not stuck on the fact that it can only come through me. God uses whom he pleases. If he decides to use a child, if he decides to use somebody that's older, somebody that's younger, somebody that's sitting right beside me, guess what? That's whom he chooses. And can we just all get to that mindset that guess what? It does not have to only come through me. My way is not the only right way. Guess what? Someone that you may have missed, I might can reach. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about, guess what? There are so many different ways to reach people, and that if we all just took on something that we're really good at, how many more people that we could reach instead of you just trying to do it by yourself. There is a scripture that says the laborers are few, but the vineyard is plentiful. The laborers are few, I think, because there's so many people trying to shun them from working, or you can't do this, or you need work in this area. And they make things so hard for those that are trying to come up and wanting to stand in that role and for God to use them in the capacity that he has. But guess what? You're putting one obstacle in front of another, saying that they need this and they need this and they need this. And I did a podcast, might have been a couple weeks ago, and and just saying somebody had to give you a chance, give others a chance. All of a sudden, now that you have this opportunity, you have so many criteria that somebody else has to have before they can do or operate or move or begin to be used. But guess what? Somebody gave you a chance, give somebody else a chance. I use the example of in my workplace that if I am a supervisor and I never allow my supervisor to do what I do, what good am I? What good am I if I never take what I know and give it to somebody else so that they too can grow in that area? What good am I? It's selfish. I don't want to be that way in 2023. I don't want to be that way ever. Everything that God has given me, I am willing to give to somebody else. That's just the type of person that I am. That's just the way that God has given me. That's just what I entail, what I have said that I'm going to do for 2023. Make it known that guess what? All things are possible if you just trust God. That's all that you need. When man begins to try and stamp a label on you, guess what? Trust God that he will remove the label, and he'll do it in a way that will set you before great men, that will set you in rooms that you were never supposed to be in, that will set you just in a place where he has no choice but to be super duper proud of you and what you have accomplished. I am so grateful for 2022. No sad stories. I thank God for how he has, even in those moments where I had to trust only him, he allowed his work to do a thing in me, in my mind, in my heart, and even just seeing the growth in me, seeing some of the changes in me, where I felt like I was not going to ever let go, or walls that I continue to try and put up, that once he tore them down, once he, just enlightened me on some things, how I was able to move freely and not be bothered. And I can say on the last day of 2022, I'm not bothered. I'm loved. I am covered. I am chosen. And guess what? And that's all that matters to me. What anybody else says doesn't matter. But what I'm taking into 2023 is that everything that God says that I can have, I shall bring it forth, because God said this is the year that we're recovering. This is the year that we're rebuilding. And this is the year that we refuse to lose any lost soul in 2023. We're doing whatever it takes to win those over to Christ. And I am excited. This is the last podcast of this year. I will tell you this, there will be no break. We'll be back in January with just our motivational moments, our moments of empowerment, our thoughts that come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then those Saturdays where we just sit and we just chat, or we overlook, or we just discuss what God has given you. Definitely my goal is to go live. So if you are not on the Facebook page, please make sure you go over and follow us and get into the chatter box where the lives will take place. That's the only place they will take place, is in that box. So make sure you're there, or you at least send a request to be accepted into the box. Thank you so much for all of those that have listened, that have followed. To every guest that will be forthcoming, I look forward to the conversations. To every collab that are coming forth, I look forward to it. I thank God for it. And I'm just asking that y'all continue to pray for me. Continue to pray for the podcast. Continue to pray for everything that God is spilling out in me to give to you, to motivate those to be the best version of themselves that they can absolutely be. This is your girl Chantel. This is the sign out of 2022. And when you hear me again, it will be in that wonderful year of 2023, where we are moving, where we are shaking, and we are being big in 23. Know that I love you. Know that I thank God for you. And just enjoy your time with your family, your friends. Treasure those. Make sure that you express to those, all those that have impacted your life, all those that have been there. Tell them thank you. Let them know that you love them and that you care. Thank you so much, guys, for chiming in. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button if you're on the YouTube page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless to each and every one of you. Make sure you find some place to worship tonight. Bring the new year in with the Lord, because he'll be with you the entire year. God bless. Love you.